You ever notice how one tiny word can just completely flip the entire feeling of a sentence? Well, today, we're going to dive into a really cool but subtle piece of real-world English, the kind of stuff you don't usually find in textbooks. It's all about adding that little bit of emotion, some personality, and yeah, a little bit of drama to your stories. And it all starts with a funny story about the one and only Prince.
So, get this. This all kicked off with something my husband said to me. I just wrapped up a Prince-themed workout, right? And I'm just walking around the house, singing my heart out, when he turns to me and says this. For a second, I thought I was listening to Prince himself. Now, was that a compliment? Or was he kind of teasing me? Let's unpack that.
And that's a great question, right? Because he could have just said, I thought I was listening to Prince. I mean, the meaning is pretty much the same. But adding that one little word, himself, it just changes the whole vibe. So what's it really doing in there?
This slide just lays it out perfectly. Over on the left, you've got the basic statement. I thought I was listening to Prince. Super neutral, just a fact. But look at the right. Once you toss in himself, it's like the sentence comes alive. It's suddenly more colorful, it's more playful. That one word basically turns a simple comment into a little performance.
So yeah, his comment wasn't really about how good my singing was, which, let's be honest, probably had a little sarcasm in there. It was all about creating a feeling. It's like he was saying the actual Prince was right there in the room with us, you know? It creates this kind of live experience vibe. It just added so much personality and humor to that little moment.
Now, if you want to get all technical, there is a grammar term for this. It's called an emphatic pronoun. But honestly, what's really important here isn't memorizing the name. It's about seeing this as a tool for splashing some emotional color onto your words. It helps you show people how you feel, not just tell them. Okay, so one of the most common ways you'll hear this used is when someone with high status or prestige does something you totally don't expect. We're talking about celebrities, famous doctors, CEOs of big companies, people you just don't think you're going to interact with one-on-one. And this slide just breaks down that moment of surprise so well. Check out the flow. First, your expectation is, okay, an assistant will probably get back to me. But then, bam, reality hits and the head of the company is on the phone. Your reaction? Using herself is what really captures that shock and shows just how big of a deal that moment felt. Here are two absolute classic examples. In the first one, you're not just saying you met a celebrity. You're saying you met the star herself. It puts a huge emphasis on how real the whole encounter was. And in the second one, it's not just about the doctor calling. You're showing how surprised and impressed you were that the doctor himself took the time to pick up the phone. And this is absolutely crucial. How you say it matters. You can't just say, the doctor himself called me in a flat, boring voice. No way! You gotta lean into it a little, The emphasis in your voice is what really makes that surprise and emotion come to life for whoever you're talking to. Now, of course, there are other ways to add this kind of emphasis. You could totally say, you met the actual star, or the real composer. And those words work just fine. But using himself or herself, it often adds a little more of a performative, dramatic flair. It just carries a special kind of punch. So try to think of this as way more than just some weird grammar rule. It's a powerful new tool you can add to your communication kit. It lets you add all these layers of meaning to your stories, it lets your personality shine through, and it really helps you connect with the person you're talking to. This is exactly the kind of thing that takes your English from just good to sounding really natural and great.
So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. Think about a time you met someone important, or when something totally surprising happened with a person you look up to. How could you tell that story using himself or herself to make it pop, to make it even more impactful? Give it a try next time. You'll see what I mean.
Got it! What's up? Catch up! Aha!